I get it. You want to work with international clients, you want to bring in that heavy amount of money, you want to get bigger paychecks, you want the flexibility of your time, you do not want to be in any toxicity, you want to be with your parents, you want to gift your brother that particular thing, you want to buy that particular dress, that particular car, you want to lift your social status up, and there are a lot of things that you want to do. And there is no problem with that. I'm really happy for you if you think that way. I have a few questions. Do you want to work with international clients? Yes. The reason? Money. Do you have what it takes to work with them? Yes. Do you have a very solid portfolio? Yep. But what you are doing to get to them? What is your strategy? Well, I don't know. I reach out on LinkedIn DMs. I send them emails. That's it. How? What quantity? What are the metrics? What are the numbers? What is the daily amount of people you are reaching out to? How many mails you are sending out in a particular day? What is your bounce rate? What is your click through rate? How many people are booking the call? How many are converting into paid clients after booking the call? Nothing. You guys don't have a single metric to track, and that's the biggest problem. And then you say that we cannot get international clients, so let me just spend enormous amounts of money, 50, 60,000 for a particular course, and let me just see what this person tells me. This is not how it is. And this is the number one problem with the current Indian freelancing market, and especially with Indian freelancers. There are only two major extremes. Number one is there is a crowd who is not confident in their services because they actually do not have a service. They are just trying freelancing and are just seeing that if it works or not. Number two is people who do not know shit, but they are charging enormous amounts of money, and both of them are not getting anywhere. And they will not get anywhere eventually, because what you are missing out is that these people, they are not from our same territory, they are from a different continent, they are from a different region, they are raised differently, but they have brain. They are running businesses, and you want to work with their business, you want to work with them. They have brains, so what you are doing to tap into their brains? What is that approach? What does that strategy looks like? Because what I have seen people doing is, even in my paid mentorship program, what earlier people used to do was that they used to just send out a particular number of applications on a particular day. So if you are feeling really motivated, you are really having that hunger for money today, you are going to send out 10, 15, 20 cold DMs to people. You are going to pitch randomly anywhere and do all the stuff. But the next day, as soon as something comes up, you are not doing anything. You are not actively reaching out to people when you already have clients. And this is one thing I don't know who is going to tell you that no one is actually coming to save you and you have to do it on your own. What the majority does is they are going to reach out to people, and once they land a particular client, you guys just stop reaching out. What is the psych behind it? What do you know about your clientele? Yes, I'm asking you. What do you know about your clientele? What does your clientele looks like? No, what do you mean, Vaibhav? What do you know about your particular client? How am I supposed to know them even before I reach out to them? That's your problem. This is exactly your problem. Half of the job is before the cold email, and after the cold email, that's the other half of the job. So before the cold email, you need to figure out everything about your client. How does your client looks as a professional? Not talking about physical appearances or any other shit if you are taking your brain in that side. I'm talking particularly about what your client actually does as a business provider. What service they are providing, what are their pain points, which pain points can you target, which pain points can you help them get rid of. People never pay for particular things in life, they pay for stuff that makes their life easier. Said by legendary Vaibhav. Yes, that's exactly the thing. The last time I paid someone who was working for me a few hours back was because he was making my life easier. While I am recording this video, I'm shooting content over here, I'm handling the other businesses. There is someone in the back end who is taking care of the other stuff that goes in, which if I devote my time in, I might not be able to do this right now. So you pay people because of the convenience that they bring in your life, and you have to be that person with your international client. First and foremost, you need to figure out what businesses you want to cater to. That's number one. You want to know which businesses do you want to work with, which businesses you do not want to work with, what is your ideal specializing thing, which is the particular thing that you can do the best and you will not get bored of in the upcoming 5 to 6 years. Number one thing is that. Secondly, you need to figure about your client. You have to keep a cap, and this video is not for people who are earning below 50,000. You guys better buckle up and get up to 50,000 and then come and watch this stuff, because before that it's literally impractical. You don't know anything until unless you make 50,000 a month. Coming on to the second point, you need to know how much is that business making. You just need a ballpark figure. You do not need the exact number. Why am I saying this? You want to work with a particular set of people who are not out of money, who either have funding, who either have reserves, or who either have someone backing them up. You do not want to work with solo founders who are just burning their own money, because at any moment they will get rid of. That's why I say if you want to join a startup who has recently raised funding, because those people do not have that financial crunch. They are pretty flexible, they need the results, and you need to give the results, so you both can definitely come on to a particular middle ground where you both are satisfied with your needs and you both can meet the ends. Third thing would be where they are ideally situated. This thing people do not give it utmost importance, and this is a very insider information. You should give your client location a big preference, because working with somebody who is having a 12 and a half hour difference and working with somebody who is only having a 2.5 hour difference makes a lot of difference in your quality of life. In my last video I told you guys this thing very simply. A freelancer can decide how many hours he's going to work, but you cannot decide which particular time of the day you are going to work. Now this is very different for every niche, because if a graphic designer is there, you might not need him at the moment. You might just batch send him the next 2 weeks of content and he comes up with something and gets approved of while he is sleeping. If you are a marketer and something is happening in the market at that point of time in that particular region, you need to stay up, you need to create content around it, you need to be in sync with the global team, you need to tell people what they are doing, and you need to be there. So time difference is a very big thing in the longer run. Initially you are going to enjoy it, but after a point it becomes monotonous. You are going to think like, what am I actually doing? Because you are working from 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. and then you got to wake up at 8 a.m. because you have to drop the kids to school, or you have to take care of the household, or you have to bring in grocery or all that stuff. And this is the case with majority. I don't know why no one talks about the real stuff of freelancing. Why is everybody busy with the crores and all that stuff? And yeah, like I definitely know why my number is not increasing, because I'm talking about stuff that will make sense after 5 or 6 years. So that's that. Right. Now this is the third point. Moving on to the fourth point is how flexible is your client and how confident he is with his particular project. You do not want to work with people who do not have a vision, because these are the worst kind of clients that you are ever going to get. These people, they are not going to take you anywhere. So you need to make sure that the person you're working with, that the person who is reaching out to you or whom you are reaching out to is actually interested. He knows his stuff and he takes utmost care and puts his business as a priority. That's the thing you need to take care of. And that is quite the case here, because if a person does not believes in his or her business, you cannot stick with that person around for a longer period of time. Now, the other thing you have to look for in the business, because I have forgotten the count actually, that is, you need to make sure that the business actually has something in it. You do not want to see, this is the thing. You, if you are having this approach that you are going to work with a particular client for 1 month and the next month you are going to hop clients, this is the worst approach by far, because for that you need to take 12 clients every single month who are paying you $1,000 or $2,000. But what if you do that, you have only 4 clients but you put them on a retainer for a 12-month period, and each one of them is paying you a particular amount every particular month? Why don't you guys think it that way? Because if you do it that way, then life is a lot easier for you. You do not have to deal with those uncertainties. You do not have those financial crunches. You know the people you have to work with, and everything is clearly laid out. But what people do is they do not take a project seriously after a particular point of time. So if you have a project that's paying you $3,000 a month, which I highly doubt most of you would have right now. So if a project is paying you $3,000 per month and you're working with those guys for the first few months, like first 1 or 2 months, first 30, 60 days, after a point it will be like that I don't need to work that much to earn this amount of money. And this is actually where the downfall starts, and this is actually where your productivity starts to suffer. What international clients want from you, let's talk about that. So the international client, what he wants is, the reason that he is scaling beyond his own country is definitely the money aspect. You need to bring this thing into your head. People are not coming out of their country because they do not have resourceful people in their territory. They are coming out because the people who are in their country, they are charging more than what you are doing. Alrighty, let me give you an example. So in USA, the standard copywriting rate is somewhere around $30 that I have personally seen with the people that I work with. So that's the hourly rate, and usually a guy works for 5 or 6 hours a day. So that's like 150, $180. Convert it into INR, just multiply it by 80, and you will have that figure. The same person, if he brings this workforce to India, he can get the same quality. Why I'm telling you the same quality? Because businesses, they are not fools. They are not fools. They have raised fundings. They know how the economy works. So the cost of living in America as compared to the cost of living in India, both of these are two extreme opposite. They are polar opposites. What happens is, if the client will pay, at the worst case he pays you $50 per day, that is a very good money according to the Indian rate. So if you work for 6 hours, your average hourly rate is $10. That's literally 800 rupees, and which the client will not have that much problem with. So you work for 5 6 hours, you have 50 $60, and you multiply it by it, you have 4 to 5,000 a day. That comes around 120 or 150, 1.5 lakh, or 1.2 to 1.5 lakhs. That's a very good amount of money if you want to live in India peacefully. Given that you have your own home and you have a little bit of assets, that's a good money to sustainably live. This is how businesses think. They do not think that, oh, let's go to India because that person particularly situated in that particular region is going to bring us some crazy results. No, that's why hiring Indians is a very tedious task, because we people are literally very good at faking stuff. And this is personally, I've seen it from my experience as well, because by the looks of it, you cannot say that this person knows stuff or not. But when you get on a call with them, that's why most of the Indians, they're afraid of getting on calls with international clients, because you can fake, you can be all the sigma and alpha beta or whatever you are on texts, but when you get on a call, a lot of things speak for itself. If you are not speaking, your body language, the way you are carrying yourself, the way you are presenting, the confidence you have in your words, the results you are presenting out, that's why a lot of people have this problem, that they do not know how to deal with these kind of things. And this is one thing which is really funny. Like, people think that the people who are sitting across the screen, who are working from a different continent, who are, who have raised funds, who are managing a team globally, you think you can fool them. This is the worst thing. This is the worst approach. If by any chance you are thinking that I can use this particular client, I will stick to this client for money and I'll not deliver these kinds of results, sooner or later you are going to get a very good bashing, not from the client but from your own particular life and skill set. Life is going to be miserable after a particular point of time, because in a business it's a two-way transaction. I always say it, the cleaner you are in the business, the more transparent you are, the better you become, the better your word of mouth gets spread, because you do not know the other client what kind of network he has. If he has a really solid network and you stand out in that particular job, you will never have ever to think about the work. He's going to refer you to other people. So it's just like that, I recommend you to one of my friends. You work with him, you really like enjoying working with him. So now you have got two guys who have a very good network, who are backing up your work. So the next time if somebody asks me that, okay, I need this service, I'll say that you go to this guy. The same is, my friend is also going to say you go to this guy. Then you go to the third guy refers you to the fourth refers you to the fifth, and this way you build a very solid network. Because you see, each client is capable of bringing you the amount of business you do not have even an idea about. This is the reality. Most of the freelancers, they do not know that they can make it big until by any chance they make it big, or until they figure it out, they get that eureka moment that yes, we can figure it out and we can really make it big if we really do it well. All international businesses need this one thing, that they want to work with people who are actually involved, who are transparent, and who got a clear cut communication, and who have their work deadlines or their work timing set. So if you tell an international client based out of US or UK that I'm going to be submitting this thing by 9 a.m., their time zone, you have to be there at 9 a.m. Because if you do not, then your image is taking a hit. The other person is not going to take you that seriously the next time. And these are a few psychological hacks. I don't know why people do not use it. Like if your meeting is at 10 a.m., you reach there at 9:55. What kind of empire will you build in the 5 minutes if you reach there 5 minutes early? But what will happen is, if you reach there 5 minutes early, the other person would be really appreciative about it, and they might even get that 1% thing even if they are late by a minute or two. So you join at 9:55, your client joins at 10:05, right? So he will feel that thing, that you are already in the lobby and he's 5 minutes late. So initially you get the upper hand. These are very minute things that I teach in my paid freelance mentorship program, because this is how you actually have an edge over the client. So let me tell you about this thing that international clients use a lot, especially with our market. What happens is, they are going to schedule a 45 minutes meeting with you. So you schedule it for 11 a.m. and they are going to deliberately show up at 11:15. Now you would be like, why? Because they want to see how pissed you are, how well you react, and how do you take that 15 minutes of delay. Because most people, and also me, I earlier had this thing that I used to leave the meeting after 5 minutes. And after that, what used to happen? I used to get really pissed that you have wasted my precious 5 minutes. But later on, then I realized that this is becoming a pattern, this is becoming a habit. No way people are stucking in traffic just before my call. No way that someone is getting their work done before my call. No way that every time someone has a call before he gets on a call with me. No way everyone has to take care of their children before they get on this call. No, something was off. And that point I realized, I sat down and I realized that, okay, this is not actually real stuff. These guys are judging on the basis of it. See, everything is just same as the Indian clients. With international clients, the only difference is the quality of work they demand and the quality of freelancer that you have to become. Because those peoples, they are not settling for anything average, because they are paying you above the Indian market rates. You can easily bypass a corporate person's salary if you are good at your particular skill, and you can cater to a good amount of businesses with that particular skill. Let me make it really easy for you. What you actually have to do, you have to build a landing page, reach out to 1000 people. Okay, reach out to 1000 people throughout the year. We're talking about annually. So build a landing page, reach out to 1000 people, get 30% call bookings. Anyhow, you have to get 30% people on the call. And after that, have a 10% conversion rate with the call. So if you are getting on a call with 300 people, close 30. That should be your aim. And you are all set for the year. 30 multiplied by a ticket size of 1000, it's $30,000 a year. That's not bad. That's like 24 LPA. If you are having a ticket size of $500, that's like $15,000. That's 18 lakhs per annum. Figures are not small. Just do this. The more you reach out to people with a particular metric in your mind, that what you actually want to do, if you are not clear about the process, then it's really a problem. That's really a gap that you need to bridge. As far as for this video, I guess I have covered literally a lot of the stuff that shouldn't have been made accessible for free. But yep, in the initial days, that's the beauty of having a channel with low amount of subscribers, that you can put out quality information, because you know that only a handful of people who are actually serious are going to watch it. So if you are part of those handful of people, do like and comment and tell me what was the best part of this video that you enjoyed the most. What was the piece of information that you found out really useful? If you want to know the current state of Indian freelancers and the challenges they are facing, you can watch this video right over here. And if you want to watch the full freelancing course, that is linked up here, so you can watch it and subscribe to the channel and stay tuned.